Well, that deal's done, and it helps Man United because it looks as though that's what's going to trigger us getting Mazaroui. But how are you feeling about getting AWB in? Because it's pretty much done over the line now.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm happy. The pricing that I'm hearing is good, between 10-15 mil. I think that's a great price if we get him for that. And yeah, like you've said on this channel, we've said before, great defensively. Okay, he's got question marks going forward, but we have Soufal for that, which buys into Lopetegui's philosophy, which he's talked about when he joined, of knowing when to play defensive and when to play attacking. So you have Wan-Bissaka when we want to, maybe we're going against the City or someone like that, and we want to flex our muscles and go more attacking. We've got Soufal. So best of both worlds in two different centre-backs. Would be nice if we had it in one. But I don't think Wan-Bissaka's as bad offensively as made out. He's probably not great, but I think it's over the top, like what people have said about it. But like I said, we was playing 4D chess with the Mazaroui thing. We went for Mazaroui, you know what I mean, to force Man United.
4D chess.
Yes, that's it. Do you know what I mean? Checkmated you. And we got Wan-Bissaka on a lot cheaper. So big up to Stuyton. Shout out to him. I'm excited.
Yeah, I've got some guests.
Something. That's fine, bro. If you played 4D chess to get Wan-Bissaka, I don't know. You were playing checkers at the end of the day. That's what you did.
What were you playing when you spent 50 mil on him then? Huh?
Listen, it's
You're
not
playing
me.
tiddlywinks.
Do you know what we get to say? That was Woodward. That was Ed Woodward. He's not here anymore. It's done. That's Woodward.
That is that typical, like when someone comes in a job. It was the guy before. It was the guy who worked here before. All his fault. Yeah.
So that's us before rehab, Lawless. It's like if you were an alcoholic before and now you rehab. That's the old me. So
that's the great thing about now that we've got new ownership and new people running the club. The current people are not accountable for all those mistakes that were made. Therefore, I feel like I'm now impervious to the banter surrounding that now because it's gone.
But you know what? If they go and make either similar or different mistakes, this will age beautifully, because then you're not going to be impervious to what they do, and we can all, laugh and say, "Oh, look, out of the frying pan into the fire." But I see why you'd be optimistic, but we just have to wait and see, innit, how it pans out and how your signings pan out. Mazaroui, again, big question marks over his fitness and his injury record, and if he can stay fit. So if you let Wan-Bissaka go, who wasn't particularly injury prone, for Mazaroui, and he goes and picks up another injury, misses a load of football, it's gonna look iffy. Do you know what I mean?
It could. Do you know what's interesting? Last week, I was a little nervous about AWB leaving and Mazaroui coming in. And I was one of those Man United fans, and I saw people calling it out online. And I realized I was wrong when I was saying, I like him because he's that really good player to bring in AWB when you want a brilliant one-on-one defender to nullify an attacker. But then I saw a lot of people, no one challenged me personally. It was just tweets I saw calling that kind of logic out of, well, if we want to create a sustainable style of football, you need particular profiles and you need to play that brand of football the majority of the time. We can't keep going from trying to be possession-based, playing out the back, to being a defensive long ball team. You have to create more continuity. So the only element of Mazaroui that worries me genuinely is the injury record, and I'll hold my hands up and say that's a concern. But I prefer it because it shows, with that and the bid going in today for De Ligt, I think it shows that we're trying to bring in footballers that are going to enable us to be able to play out from the back and to try and create a more sustainable, consistent style of football, which has lacked under the manager. Whether or not we achieve that consistency of football is another debate altogether, but that's why I like the move, and I'm happy and that's why I want to see Scott McTominay go and Lindelof leave. These players who you could argue McTominay can offer us goals from the bench, but unless they have an absolute specialism that is going to help bring our football to life, I just think they're the right individuals to let go this summer or try and move on as we look to bolster this squad. So I now looking at it from a different perspective, it's one of those things where I've gone, you know what, that's a really good point, and I've got to almost stop thinking about things in the old world. I'm excited about Mazaroui coming in and De Ligt as well, and those bids have gone in, Staffy, but no one knows how much they are yet. Nobody knows if they're going to be accepted at this point, but it does feel like those deals are very close to happening.
Yeah. I saw that earlier. Obviously, Ornstein woke up early today and decided to, drop one of his bumbas. Luckily, I was I was up for it, so I actually spoke about it earlier on my channel, and I'll repeat the same thing I said over here again. First of all, just to touch on the Aaron Wan-Bissaka thing, you said it perfectly there, and I said everyone who's crying over Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I'm not gonna lie, you're pretty much a disgrace. I've seen people saying there's one guy, I swear I'm not even joking, who tweeted on Twitter saying he hasn't been this upset about a Man United player leaving the club since David Beckham went to Madrid. And I didn't know what to say. That just shows you the state of my club. Aaron Wan-Bissaka will not be missed. I'll tell you guys this. I'm sure he's a great guy, great human being. As a footballer, I can't wait for him to leave. And I've been speaking about this for years. I actually watched him last week in real life, and it was equally painful, if not more, to watch him play football. One of the most awkward footballers I've ever seen in my life. People think we will miss his one-on-one defending. Okay, yeah, you can argue that. But when you look at all the clubs around us that have a sustainable style of play, they all have like for like replacements. They actually complain when their fullbacks are not like for like replacements. So if we're trying to get a direct replacement for Delo or a direct replacement for Luke Shaw, because he will be playing on both sides, you would rather someone who's good going forward. Because when you spend time attacking, you don't need to defend anyways. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. This is why when I see some United fans crying over Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and they're putting clips, by the way, from 2020 saying, oh, you guys told me he's not good on the ball. You have to go back to 2020 to when he scored a goal against Newcastle to show me that he's been good. Come on, let's not do this. He suits a low block team. He suits a team that defends well, and he probably suits a team that plays good on the counter. Which I haven't seen West Ham under Lopetegui yet, but that just sounds like West Ham to me. If you want to be sustainable top 6 team with a sustainable style of play that's more offensive, more on the front end, you need players that are good on the ball. Because I'll tell you what, you don't need to defend when you have the ball. So, Mazaroui,
absolutely.
Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I wanted to say if you looked at the way we played against Real Betis the other day, how we played in the first half against Arsenal, and you heard Ten Hag screaming it, and you can clearly see we've been doing this in training. He's asking for our fullbacks to push up alongside our inside forwards, and we want to play more on the front foot. And I think Man United, this is the problem with a lot of Man United fans. You're right. We do need like-for-like replacements. Then you'll get people that will go to the nth degree. But Terry, you said you want different type of strikers. Yes, that's a different position to a right back. I do like the idea of having 2 or 3 strikers that all have something different to their game, because it actually means you can play them together at times. It's a different role. You very rarely play 2 right backs at the same time unless one of them's going into a centre back role. And if AWB had the ability to play centre back very well, then my mind might change. But he doesn't. He actually doesn't have the one thing he doesn't do very well from a defensive perspective is have the positional discipline. He gets caught playing everybody onside a lot. But with the way we're trying to play football, and in the short term, we might get exposed in some games because it's a new system. We need fullbacks who are more proficient, more comfortable on the ball. And I think when you look at Harry Amas coming through, in fairness, Luke Shaw is decent on the ball. You've got Delo that's excellent on the ball. Yeah, you've got Delo that's good on the ball, and then Mazaroui. So suddenly you've got 4 fullbacks at the club that can all play football, and I'm excited about that.
No, 100%. And that was going to be my next point, because I obviously read what David Ornstein was talking about today, and I actually had a little bit of a debate on my channel, and I want to bring it here and ask you guys. I said that I need these 2 deals. Well, technically it would be 1 deal because it's a joint bid, so we'll be getting both of them together or not, and they're both under the same agent. I forgot her name, Rafael or something. So it's both of them coming in possibly together or not. And I had this argument. I said I would rather slightly emphasize when I say slightly overpay to get this deal done ASAP than to wait all summer, because I want to start the season prepared. We do have a game next week against City. I understand it's a glorified friendly, even though every country has a Super Cup except for England for some reason. But it will be a game that we will want to win. They will want to win, and you want to start the season on the right side of winning. And then we got Fulham a week after. And I said I will gladly slightly overpay to get this deal done. Lenny Yore's injury and Aaron Wan-Bissaka's serious interest from West Ham makes me want to escalate this deal because it means right now that I'm gonna go get a right back, and I'm like, all right, thank you, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, you can now go. And at the same time, also I get the lick because I don't have Lenny Yoro for about 3 months. So some people agree with me, some people disagree with me. So I wanted to bring it to today's chat. Maybe go to Lawless first since he's the outsider before I come to you. But that's just where I stand. I don't know what you guys think about it.
Yeah, I mean, you want to get the players in. I don't know what you've got left to spend and how close you're flying to the sun in terms of PSR and FFP, whether you've got to make sure, you're saving yourself enough money for other positions. If you really want to be a team that's at least going to be getting top 4, there's still a lot to be done in the transfer window for Man United. Like at the moment, what you've done can probably sustain a good run, or if these couple of signings come off, could probably sustain a good run in Europa League and maybe a push for top 4, falling short. But I think you still need quite a bit more. I think maybe another right winger. Højlund, we'll see if he can be the main man.
Right winger. I got the Ivorian Messi on my team. I don't need a right winger.
What?
Yeah.
Jeez. All right. Listen, let's say about the better. But I think there's as well. You probably need to be bolstering the defense as well, I would say, and get the players as well that are going to fit into this new style of play that Ten Hag, I guess, is going to be pushing, because it does seem like whatever he's been playing at Man United, that's done, and he's going to be doing what I guess Ratcliffe and the owners have maybe asked him to do and say, right, we want a more progressive style of football. We want that Ajax way. So man, I still think you're quite a few signings away from being where you want to be this season. Do you know what I mean? Maybe challenging is a bit too ambitious, but you want to be comfortable top 4.
I agree. I agree with what you've said, but I was very aware. I remember we said on many shows ago, any Man United fan that thought we were fixing all of our squad problems this summer, they're either delusional beyond a point where you should engage with them, or they're deliberately going to act frustrated when they understand the situation. So they're either delusional or liars if they're annoyed that we've not addressed every issue. Because this squad, I think that if you look at the squad at the end of last season, maybe 20, maybe 25% of that will still be here at the end of the summer window in 2006. So within 3 years' time, the majority of it will be gone. What I like about what we're doing, if these 2 deals and Ugarte come off, is I think we've added enough, including promoting some really talented and technical gifted youngsters. I think we've added enough into each position to be able to make the style of football advance. And with De Ligt coming in, we're not just one injury away from having no centre-backs that can play out from the back. With Mazaroui coming in and Harry Amas being promoted, we're not an injury or two away from not having fullbacks that can play football. And, the only area that I would probably look at, if Ugarte comes in, I like him. The only area that I'm maybe a little bit frustrated about that we haven't looked to do is bring in a better ball-playing central midfield player to go alongside Bruno and Mainu. However, we have got the young player in Toby Collier coming through, and I'm not saying he's ready. I'm not saying he's going to have a season like Kobbie Mainoo did, but he's definitely better on the ball than Scott McTominay. And McTominay will definitely score more goals next season if both of them start. But I would rather give Scott McTominay's minutes next season to Collier for him to develop than we know what we're getting out of Scott McTominay. But there's definitely holes in this squad still. But overall, I'm happy with the business. Yes, we're probably going to have to pay nearer to what Bayern Munich want now, especially for De Ligt. But that's not bad negotiating. That's just bad luck. You talk about a young player that's had no injuries for his youth career, no injuries in his short professional career, and then an Arsenal player stands on his foot and breaks a bone in his foot. I mean, I've seen some gooners, Matt, hope you're doing well, Mr. Muscles, talking about how because you've got a bad medical department in terms of Lenny Yoro. And I'm like, bro, if someone trod on his foot and his foot broke, you don't, Arsenal's medical department wasn't bad because Shawcross broke Ramsey's leg. That's not on the medical team. That's just an absolute freak accident, bad tackle, whatever it may be. So it's like Rashford. Oh, Rashford's out as well. Again, Rashford was really poorly fouled where he got studded on the shin, top of the ankle, and top of the foot. Am I annoyed at the medical team that Rashford's picked up a little knock from that? No. I mean, that's a weird one. So, yeah, I'm not frustrated that we're probably going to pay 5-6 million more than we wanted to. The situation has kind of played out in that way. But overall, I'm happy with the beginning of life under Ineos. I think we've bought the right types of players for what we need. And I know a lot of people haven't watched their games, because why would you be getting up why would any rival get up at 3 o'clock in the morning unless it's your job to watch Man United play? That'd be very strange. But we're starting to change some of the way we play. And I think that, you know, there's something to be hopeful for as a Man United fan. So I'm in a really good space when it comes to Man United right now. You know, my feet are firmly on the ground. I ain't talking about no title challenge. I love the fact that Man United released it to the press that Sir Jim has told Ten Hag, don't even be thinking about winning league titles this year.
I don't know why this was, I'm not gonna lie. That should have been. I don't know why that was news. Like,
well,
I don't think that we've briefed the media on it. I think what's come out is someone's talking. So I've heard this. I've heard another thing that they've said internally is there's just not this season. The focus isn't winning, and this is what's really key. We're not focused on not getting back to winning league titles. We're focused on what we've got to do in the short term, and we want to get back there. But there's no point in that being the goal this season. And I personally, it's a bit like if you start going gym tomorrow, well, you do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Lawless, right? And you know there's different levels. If I want to become a black belt, what isn't going to help me is day one I go training and I literally start training directly with the black belts, because I'm actually not going to learn anything having my head kicked in. Not that you get your head kicked in, but getting absolutely bent and twisted like a pretzel by seasoned pros. You need to go up, you know, you start slowly, you learn the basics, you develop, and you move on. Now, that doesn't mean I'm unambitious. I still want to become a black belt, but I don't get there by just fighting the black belts day one and doing that. And I think there's too many. When that story came out, I think it was a storm in a teacup. It makes sense for that to not be this season's target. It doesn't mean that's not what we're aiming to get back to. But I like the honesty, and I like the way we're structuring our expectations. It's the right way to go about things. It really is. Anyone that thinks we have to try and win the league this year, I think you're a moron. I genuinely think you're a moron if you think like that.